So I've had my iPhone and my Apple Watch for a week now, and um, I'd like to sit down and take a moment to talk about what I enjoy about each of them. First of all, is the iPhone XR. The blue is just fantastic. I love the color. I love the stereo speakers. I love Face ID. Now, Face ID takes a little bit of getting used to because for those of you who have not seen it, go back to watch a video called It's Happening. Um, that talks about the um, the laser surgery that I'm going to go through to correct my vision, and that's actually happening next week. The consultation for that is happening next week. Until that happens, um, I end up having to have the phone at two separate distances. And I've gotten used to it. It took me a few days, but I've gotten used to it. I have to have the phone about, where's my hand? There's my hand. So about maybe here or so for Face ID. And then I bring it into about here to see the screen. Now I'm hoping with the laser procedure that I can just keep it out here at all times, but we'll just have to see how that works out. But Face ID is fantastic. Being able to look at the phone, I even, believe it or not, even with my current vision, I'm still able to have the awareness detection turned on. And for those of you who do not know what that is that's a feature in accessibility settings that allows you to switch off whether or not you look at the camera. Now, for some people who are totally blind, that's important because for a lot of people who are totally blind, especially those that don't have light perception, but a lot of times, even if you do have light perception, your eyes kind of dance all over the place because they're not sure where anything is, and they're trying to take in information that they can't. So they're dancing all over the place, and that really confuses the Face ID system. So that's why they have the option to turn off the attention awareness. Now, I've actually tried it both on and off. And I decided to leave it on because I realized that after a day or two, if I keep the phone at the appropriate distance at which I can actually still see the padlock, I can see the time and date. Well, maybe not the date so clearly, but definitely the time and padlock. And again, hopefully after the laser surgery, I'll be able to see the date and the time and a whole lot more. Keep your fingers crossed. But as it stands, in my present condition, Face ID works just fine. As I said, it took me a little bit to realize, because initially I thought something was wrong. I was like, what am I doing wrong? It turns out I wasn't holding it at the proper distance. But the ability to turn that off, the attention awareness off, is really nice in the off chance that I do need it. The stereo speakers are just awesome. I love having stereo speakers on my phone. This is the first time I've had a phone with stereo speakers. This is the first time I've had a phone with wireless charging. And I just love that, being able to pop my phone on the charger and not have to worry about it. And the charger that I have has a pulsating blue light on the bottom. Now, a lot of people, I've read the reviews for this particular charger. It's an Anker 5-watt USB-C powered wireless charger, Qi compatible. About $20 at Best Buy, I think. Anyway, so a lot of people have complained about the light, and one person commented about how you can turn that off. I leave it on, especially at night, because it's much easier for me to tell at a glance with the pulsating blue ring whether or not the device is charging. Okay? Especially since I leave my phone on silent during the night so that it doesn't disturb me. And because of that, I have to consciously listen for the low vibration to indicate that it started wireless charging. And then when I turn my lights off at night, I use that blue ring as an indication of, yes, the phone is still charging. It is just buttery smooth. Animoji is just as fantastic as I hoped it would be, as I thought it would be, as it had been when I was playing with it on the demo units. I've been able to create my own Animoji that a lot of people have said looks just like me. It's just fantastic. Now, there is one caveat that I have, actually two. One of them relates to something. If you take a look at CNET's iPhone XR review, you'll see at the beginning that Scott Stein went ahead and put up a video of him walking through, I don't know if it was New York or San Francisco, using an emoji for his face. And I've been trying to figure out how on earth he did that because I can't find anything in the software that allows me to effectively have an emoji, say, for a YouTube video. My guess, as far as I could figure, unless I'm missing something, and if I am, please let me know in the comments. But as far as I could figure, the best that I could guess was that he was recording, doing maybe like a screen recording of maybe a blank FaceTime call to himself or something, and putting that in the video. I don't know, but it'd be nice to really, I think it would just be fun to put forth different animojis in more than just a FaceTime call. I'd like to be able to put up an emoji for you guys in a YouTube video. That would be cool. I would love to do that. The only other problem that I'm having has to do with voiceover. Now, by the time you watch this video, it's possible that I may have already solved it, but go ahead and put down any comments that might help, and if I have solved it, I'll let you know. But here's the problem. So I transferred everything over from an iCloud backup from my iPhone 6 Plus. That includes all my folders, my wallpapers, my accessibility settings for zoom, voiceover, bold text, increased contrast, the lot. The problem is, when I try to activate Alex, I can't. Like, I can't even go in and download it. I can't activate it. It's like it's not there. And another problem that I have is when I activate Ava, Samantha comes on. Now, for those of you who are voiceover users, you would have a better idea of what I'm talking about. And again, like I said, by the time you watch this video, it's possible I may have already solved it because I think somebody commented in the group that I posed this question to. Maybe they've got an answer. I've already tried to restart the device. That didn't help at all. I've tried restarting VoiceOver. No luck. I don't know what's going on. But really, those are the only two quirks. And Alex and Ava are the only voices with which this is in effect a problem. So other than those two issues, which are definitely fixable in software, one of them I think is a bug, and the other is a feature request, basically. I love it. It's, like I said, it's buttery smooth. It's nice to have a phone that I don't have to worry about whether or not it's going to crash. I've got a clear case for it because, of course, with the iPhone XR and all these wonderful colors, you have to have a case. The display, as I mentioned in my hands-on about a month or so ago, maybe 2 months by now, it's not an issue to me at all. Everything looks just as good as it did on the 6 Plus, maybe even better. The resolution drop is not noticeable to me at all. It's just I love it. My Vision Assist video magnifier loads at the snap of the fingers, and it's just super quick. The only other issue that I have, and again, this is strictly a software thing and is going to be dependent upon the developers, but there are some apps that still run in the old aspect ratio of the old iPhones that had the home button, and that's just strange. Other than those issues, I mean, I love this thing. And the fact that I can get pretty much a full day out of it. So far, I've only had to do a little bit of trickle charging. And on some days, depending on what I'm doing, I can get through a full day without putting it on the charger at all. I mean, this is a dream. This is fantastic. And I don't think I will ever go back to a phone that doesn't have wireless charging, water resistance, or stereo speakers. If it lacks any of those three things, I'm not going to get the phone anymore. You know, it's just that wonderful. And what makes it even more wonderful is the Apple Watch. I do have an Apple Watch Series 4 that I happen to be wearing right now. At the moment, you're looking at this thing and you're thinking, well, wait a moment, it's upside down, isn't it? Well, it's actually not for me, because this is one of the beautiful things about the Apple Watch, being able to adjust its orientation, being able to adjust the the wrist which you wear it on, because I'm a southpaw, and it's much nicer to be able to just press the digital crown with my hand. And in fact, if I triple click it,
voiceover on 2023 and 21 seconds. Double tap to open breathe. 2023. Phone.
That's the only quirk that I really have so far with the Apple Watch, is that voiceover doesn't always announce my unread messages, and I'm not sure why.
Clear. 36. Voiceover off.
So, I mean, that is just fantastic. The ability to take calls on the watch, to answer messages on the watch, Facebook, and standard texts, just fantastic. I've gotten really good at scribbling. And I've also gotten good at just using the watch in general. I've used it to time some. I've got a recumbent bike, an exercise bike, and I've used the watch to time those workouts. I've used the watch's standing reminder to get up and move. It's just fantastic. Now I've got the Seashell Sport Loop on it right now, but I've got 2 other bands with it. One of them I've already bought, and the other one will be here at the time of this video. It'll be here on Friday. So the other band that I got was a classic leather with a dual deployment buckle, and I just wanted that for formal occasions. And then the other one is going to be the Nike Plus Sport Band. And I got that one particularly for the gym. Okay? And I'm hoping with this that it'll be sweat resistant and whatnot, because I've actually done some review. I've seen some of the reviews of this strap. It's a wonderful strap, and it's going to be my everyday strap. It's very comfortable. It fits. It's just very soft. The problem is, if you do any kind of vigorous activity with this, I've heard some people say that it starts to turn yellow, and I personally do not want to take a chance. The last thing that I will point out on my Apple Watch is my childhood dreams have been renewed with Mickey Mouse.
It's 8:25. Good evening.
I never get tired of that. I swear I will never get tired of that. That is just fantastic. You've got Mickey, you've got Minnie. Minnie's dress, you can change the colors. Mickey, you can go between him wearing red shorts or gray shorts. Just a whole bunch of wonderful watch faces. I've even got a watch face that is based off of photos from my photo gallery, and this watch face, which I realize might be a little hard. There we go. Might be a little hard to see. This watch face is actually the same wallpaper that I have on my iPhone XR. So I just downloaded the wallpaper from the web, and I used that to create a wallpaper for my watch. So I've got the blue, I've got the white, and I've got the black. And all of that's going to be dependent upon the strap that I'm wearing. For instance, the Seashell, I go between the blue and the white. If I'm wearing the black leather strap or I get another black strap, I'll wear the black. If I wear a blue band, I may wear blue. If I have a blue background. If I decide to get a red strap, so it's just wonderful. Yes, this doesn't have its own watch shop, but a face shop, but I don't care. I really don't. To me, it's the functionality more than anything that I'm excited about. These two, the watch and the phone, are like a match made in heaven. I mean, you can't have one without the other. Now, there is one thing that I am very curious about, and I know that you guys are welcome to comment on this, but obviously we're not going to be able to know until, the next batch of hardware comes out, the next operating systems come out for the various devices from Apple. But I'm wondering if in time, this watch could completely replace the cell phone. And I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't think so personally. I've gone back and forth about that, but I think my final decision is that I don't think so. Because if you think about it, trying to read the news on such a tiny little screen, it'd be too much. With VoiceOver, the only way to get any privacy is through AirPods or Bluetooth headphones, which, of course, nowadays with the iPhones, yes, that's true too. But at least with the iPhone, you have the ability to invest a couple of bucks in a dongle. And yes, that's annoying, but at least you have that option. With the Apple Watch, you pretty much have Bluetooth headphones or AirPods or nothing. So basically, that is the Apple Watch. Oh, one more thing, the battery life on this thing. I have not yet managed to run this down except for the first day that I had it when I turned it on and it didn't have a full charge. Other than that, I have not managed to run it down at all. This thing has consistently gone through the day without having to get on the charger once. It is just fantastic. There is one other thing. I've accumulated a couple of gift cards over the years from Best Buy from family members. And I finally decided to put them all together, which incidentally, Best Buy gift cards don't have an expiry date. So if you've got some laying around, feel free to use them.
8:00 p.m.
But there is one last thing. Now, originally this was going to be for my birthday, but I decided since I've got the gift cards and I would need some help setting it up, to go ahead and get it. Not so much with setting up the device itself, but getting it connected. That device is the Apple TV. I went ahead and got the 4K Apple TV. We currently don't have a 4K TV, but I wanted to get the 4K unit just as a future-proofing measure. 64 gigabytes, and with the gift cards, it brought down the total to like $70. So I think I got this for an absolute steal. For those of you who gave me the gift cards, if you're watching, thank you, thank you, thank you. I genuinely appreciate it. I'm loving this thing. Compared to the Fire TV stick, it is fantastic. I can literally triple tap the menu key on the remote and VoiceOver can turn on and off on a whim. And on top of that, I've got multiple remotes. My watch is a remote. My watch is a remote. My phone is a remote. It's just, I love it. I genuinely love it. This is fantastic. The Amazon Video app, it actually pauses right where you left off. It doesn't necessarily restart, although sometimes it does, but other times it just pauses right where you left off. I just think that is super neat. The scrolling, because you use the touchpad as opposed to arrow keys, the scrolling is much more finely tuned, and I just love that. Another thing that I love is the fact that the Apple TV, there's a little white dot on the front of the device, and that tells you whether or not it's on or off. And I really, really like that. So far, the only quirk that I have found is that by default, it's set to turn off your TV when you turn off the Apple TV set-top box. I've gone in and disabled that because I've never had that before, and a lot of times when I switch off the set-top box, I'll switch the inputs back over to the main TV, back over to our main cable box. So I didn't want to have to turn off the Apple TV only to turn back on the TV set itself. I found that would be very annoying. So thankfully I was able to figure out how to turn that off. But the Apple TV has just got everything I need. It's got zoom, it's got VoiceOver, it's got bold text, it's got a light sensitivity setting, which really surprised the heck out of me. I've downloaded a couple of games. I've downloaded a blackjack game. I've downloaded a Sonic game, which is really interesting in terms of playing that Sonic game. You just move around with your thumb on the trackpad. You press the trackpad to jump. I've never seen a more simple control layout. It's fantastic. I've even got Amazon and Grubhub on the device, so I can go ahead and take a look. Now, I can't view my orders, which is rather interesting, but I can go ahead and view things and have them pushed to the phone so I can go shopping if I wanted to. So the only other quirk that I have found with the TV has to do with the YouTube app. I can log in. Now, I've been a member of YouTube for over 10 years, okay? Back when I started, they had screen names only. They didn't have you merge with an actual email account. when they merged, and a lot of people started using their real names, I was so used to using my screen name that I decided to keep it. Google gave me the opportunity, so I did. But because I did that, apparently on YouTube on the Apple TV, if I sign in, it gets me to the account associated with my name, not my screen name, and I'm not sure how to fix that, or if it can be fixed. That's really the only gripe that I have with this thing. So far, I am loving the Apple TV. I did order a case for the remote. For anybody that has not gotten one of these and is considering it, please get a case for the remote or you will regret it. I've already dropped that thing. I've already dropped the remote once, and thankfully it didn't shatter or break. But I've got to be very careful. That's another reason I'm glad that I have 3 remotes. Again, the phone, the watch, and the physical remote, because that way, if the physical remote is charging, or I want to be very careful in terms of, getting it gunked up with, say, peanut butter crackers or whatever, if I need to, I could always just use my watch or the phone, But so far, I'm absolutely loving these. All of them just work together seamlessly. I couldn't be happier. Yes, there are niggles, but I think those niggles could easily be addressed. But that's how I've been doing with a week of the Apple Watch and the iPhone XR, as well as a couple of days with a surprise Apple TV. Feel free to add your thoughts. Thank you for watching. Comments are welcome, and have a nice day.